Hey y'all, my name's Seth Packan, and this is Podunk Perspective, a podcast based on the Podunk Perspective. Podunk Perspective, welcome back. This is episode number 8. We got my man Liam Coleman. How are we doing, my man?
We're doing good, brother. How are you doing?
Good. You've been pretty busy playing gigs.
Dude, I've been trying to. It's been we've been busy. We've been traveling a good bit, couple weeks this year, and just playing downtown and trying to put out music. But it's been a good year. I can't complain.
So obviously you're an artist in town. What type of music do you put out? What do you aspire to be as an artist?
Man, I put out for myself. I put out more like country rock and stuff. I grew up listening to grunge and like bands like Green Day, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Blink-182. But I also grew up listening to a shit ton of country music, and so kind of once I saw guys like Co Wetzel and like Kobe Cooper and Dylan Wheeler and those bands in the Texas country music scene, I was like, man, I can kind of do that for myself. I was like, I can make rock music that sounds kind of country, and kind of dabbled more into that and have put out some music like that over the last couple of years. And I just like to write stuff for other people that whatever it is. It could be pop country, it could be a beach song, party song, whatever. But for me what do I aspire to be as an artist? I don't know. I just want people to like my music. I just want people to like my music, and I just want to be able to play shows for the rest of my life. And
what made you get into music? When did you start music?
Dude, from the moment I was born, I've always, whether it was like sitting at the kitchen table with like a spoon playing as like a guitar, or just like always hitting shit. Like I always loved like loud noises and like music. I would always dance to, my parents would put on music and I always dance to it. I started playing drums when I was 6. Taught myself how to play guitar when I was 12, and then just was like, man, I tried like doing a couple open mics. I'm from Massachusetts, and I like tried to do a couple open mics in like the city. Yeah. And like realized I was like, man, I could do like this for a couple hours, and started playing gigs at like restaurants and bars and breweries, and started traveling down here. And I was like, man, I like Nashville. It could be fun, and started traveling to other places to play here and there, and just ultimately decided like I'm not a student. I can't go to college. So I graduated high school and moved here. Yeah.
So you said you grew up in Massachusetts. What was that like?
Yeah, it was cool. Where I'm from is like I'm from Charlton, Massachusetts. It's nicknamed Cowtown back in the day because it was all like dairy farms. But like it's kind of like middle of nowhere in a sense. It was cool though. I mean, I feel like it was just kind of like anywhere else. Like you could drive around parts of Tennessee and I'll be like, man, it feels like I'm kind of back home in a sense. But a lot of trees, really nothing to do other than go to Chili's.
What'd you do in high school?
Dude, I wouldn't say I was a nerd, but I was like definitely like nervous. Like I wasn't drinking and like partying.
Did you play sports or anything?
I wish I played sports.
Yeah.
So I tried out for the middle school teams, and I never made the middle school teams. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother when it comes to high school. But like I played basketball and baseball growing up, and I loved that, but I knew I wasn't gonna have a future in it whatsoever. Yeah. And so that's kind of like when I started playing guitar and stuff, and once I kind of like had that figured out, I was like, I could do this. Like, I could do this series. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be playing for the Red Sox or anything soon. But Massachusetts was cool. I mean, there's nothing. The best thing we did like on weekends was like go to Chili's, go like fuck around at Walmart. Oh, wait, can we swear on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Podunk Perspective, baby.
We go to Chili's, go fuck around at Walmart for like an hour, and then go to our high school parking lot, go play soccer, football, or fucking race in the parking lot. That was like the best thing to do on a Friday night. But I was weird. I didn't fucking drink or smoke in high school at all.
Yeah, no.
I waited till I moved to Nashville.
And then Nashville really just changed it.
Drink out low.
So like playing music in Massachusetts, trying to pursue that career, was it pretty obvious pretty quickly where you're like, I definitely need to go to Nashville for this?
Yeah. I was like I started playing when I was like 15, like kind of just like paid gigs. Yeah. And like it was fun. Like I was playing every weekend, and I was like making like pretty solid money for like what a 15, 16-year-old like would be making. And I was like, man, I could either like stick around here, do this for another couple of years and like save money, or I could just like bite the bullet and just shoot my shot. Like,
is there a music scene up there in Massachusetts?
There's actually pretty solid like country music scene in like the New England region. There's a lot of good people who play out there, between like New Hampshire, Maine. There's a lot of different gigs to be offered too. And like a lot of people like tour up that way, so there's always a lot of opening slots.
I feel like there's a lot of cool venues up there.
There's a lot of awesome venues, especially like kind of where I'm from. I mean, like that Central Mass area. There's a lot of cool like smaller venues that have started over the last couple of years. And then like once you get out to Boston, Boston has a bunch of awesome like concert halls, and I mean like Fenway's like it's the Red Sox place, but it's like concerts at Fenway are awesome. Concerts at TD Garden are awesome. Gillette, like. It's a cool spot to go tour up because people love music out there. So it's like, especially if you're somebody like people will buy tickets.
Have you gone and seen concerts up in that area?
I've seen a couple. I saw Green Day at Fenway years ago. That
crazy.
was awesome. It was Green Day, Weezer, and it was supposed to be Fall Out Boy too, but one of the guys had COVID, so they had to back out of the show. I saw Zach Bryan in Boston like 4.5 years ago, like before he really blew up. And he played Austin for the first time. He was like, "This song is called Austin, but I'm changing it to Boston for tonight." And he had just written it. He's like, "I just wrote this like a week ago." And I remember like it was like 1,000 cap venue. And
was he dating his ex at the time?
No. This was 2021. This had to be this was either late 2022 or early 2021. It was like just before I had moved to town, and that was a crazy show. I saw him for like $20. I was like, I'm a strike now.
That's really cool. I remember this was probably a year before I moved here, so that had to be 22 or 21. I saw Jameson Rogers and Drew Parker in like a basement, dude. There was like the size of this place, and
that's so sick.
They were just like you were close enough to like basically get on stage and dab them up. And
dude, one of my first country concerts was I saw Hunter Hayes in Rhode Island, and the opener was this duo. No one knew who they were, but one of them could sing like hell. Yeah, and it was Dan and Shay, and no one knew who they were. Like it was an empty arena. There was just people were getting in, and I just remember like watching him. I'm like, damn, that dude can he can belt. And then like years later, they become the biggest thing in country music at the time.
Who's your favorite person to go see now? Like,
dude, Co Wetzel's always so fun to see. I've seen him 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah, I think we're tied there.
Dude, yeah, I've seen him since I've lived in Nashville. I've went every year that he's played, which I think that's 3 times. And then I saw him at the Whiskey Jam thing. So it's been 4 times that I've seen him. Yeah. Treaty great. Have you seen Treaty yet?
No, not yet.
Dude, I saw them last year at Brooklyn Bowl in February. Unreal. Yeah. Like, could not be more perfect. Like, the record when they play live.
Who I was very impressed by them. Fox and Veed, bro.
Dude, I want to see them.
They played a festival out in South Carolina this past year, and I was blown away by their stuff. They're just so energetic.
Dude, they popped up on my For You page like a year and a half ago. And it was, I think All I Wanted was like the first song that I like heard by them. And I was just like, these dudes got it. I was like, they're so tight. Their drummer, I forget their drummer's name, but like that dude is entertaining as hell to watch. Yeah. Like I just like see videos of them on TikTok, and I'm like, that would be a fun show to see live.
Yeah, the country rock scene in Nashville is exploding to say the least.
It's growing, dude. It's definitely growing.
Yeah. Do you? Because obviously the first stuff you put out wasn't necessarily country rock, you know. How was that? Like, how did you transition from the stuff you were putting out in the beginning of your career and then now?
So I think like the stuff that I like the first bit of music that I ever put out, I didn't necessarily get into songwriting. Yeah. Like I loved playing. I knew I loved playing shows and loved playing live, but like songwriting never had like the biggest interest in my mind. I was just like, I just like to play. Yeah. And then once COVID hit, I was like, well, I got nothing else to do. And so I set up like a bunch of Zoom writes with people, and I just started writing every single day on Zoom. And I grew into falling in love with it pretty quickly. And I think when I first started writing songs, I was 16, 17.
That's sweet.
Like taking it serious.
That's young too.
And I was just like, I think I had in my head, like, okay.
Did you have teachers or just something you just kind of
No, I just kind of
figured.
I had a drum I did drum lessons for like 10 years. But like when I taught myself how to play guitar, I like kind of looked at like songwriting classes online, but it was just like that's shit you can't teach.
Yeah.
Like you can't teach somebody how to write a song in like a week's time or whatever. Like you need to write 100 songs to actually figure it out, and you need to be in the rooms, and like you gotta do it yourself. Like learning hands-on is like the only and best way to learn in my opinion.
Well, especially when it comes to the music industry. I mean, in any aspect. I mean, when it comes to tour managing, when it comes to being the artist, I've kind of heard it and seen it myself that like you just got to do it and figure out how it works for you.
And I also like I know so many people too like that I'll talk to like here in town like who are like, yeah, I've never played a band show, and then like they'll play their first band show and like, man, that did not go anything like it. I'm like, you think the first show anybody played was gonna go the way they imagined it? I'm like, you got to play hundreds of shows. Like I've played a lot of fucking shows.
What was your
between like just up in Massachusetts? Like I've been playing live almost every weekend since I was 15. I still have no idea what I'm doing when I get on stage, dude. You just you learn each time. It's fun. That's the point of it. It's like a puzzle.
What was the first time you got on stage and was like, damn, like I feel like I got a shot at this. Like this is cool.
I don't think I've ever had that moment. I think I've just like, it depends on the show, because it's like I won't get nervous before I play like a Broadway gig.
Yeah.
Like Broadway is just another.
I mean,
Broadway
you've
gig.
played in some in front of some cool crowds, but some large crowds as well. I mean,
like you definitely get. I definitely get the nervous jitters. Like still, like dude, the last time I played Whiskey Jam, before I got to do, my knees were shaking. I was like, damn, dude. Like I know it's just 4 songs and it's my songs, but it's like there's still just some shows, and like if it's a big crowd, like definitely get nervous. Like I will never. I don't think I'll ever not be nervous before like some certain shows, but it's like you warm up a couple songs in, and it's like my sister, like she does music too, and she had her first full band show a couple months ago.
Awesome.
And it did not go any way, shape, or form the way she imagined it in her head.
That's the music
and I was
industry.
just like, listen, you're gonna have to do that 100 more times before you even have like the slightest clue of figuring it out. I'm like, performing live is like, that's something you can't fake. Like you got to do that 100 times. That's why it's like a lot of these people like. And like no shame to people who blow up on TikTok, but a lot of people who blow up on TikTok, a lot of them never played shows. That's just the truth of it.
It's hard for them to control a crowd. And
it's hard to throw anybody up on stage. Like even if you've done it hundreds of times, it is still hard to throw somebody up on stage in front of a lot of people and like just be like, good luck. Like it's not an easy thing to do. So it's like I said, it's like anything else. Just doing it hundreds of times. You'll slowly figure it out a little bit more. No one's ever going to have it figured out. Morgan Wallen's playing some of the biggest shows on planet Earth. But like at the end of the day, like, will he ever have it figured out on I mean, actually, no, he does have it pretty fucking figured out on that. But I'm just saying, like, it's
never
hard.
know.
Like,
I mean,
something could always go wrong.
Yes,
like,
and you hear these guys say all the time, like, especially the bigger guys, they're like, yeah, I can go out and play 50,000, like it's no problem, but I get in front of 15 people and I shit my pants.
And that's like the like I could go play like a frat party in front of hundreds of frat kids, but like I feel like I will still be way more nervous playing at like the listening room than I will playing for hundreds of frat kids when it's like a bunch of just judgmental eyes on me, and then it's like but then like the listening room, you're like trying to hone in on your own craft, and it's like it depends on the room, I feel like, but I don't know. There will always be like a nervous aspect to it.
You mentioned playing a few frat parties, and I've seen some videos and some pictures and stuff. It looks like it's a fun time. Do you enjoy doing those?
I think they're definitely fun, dude. Like it's such an interesting crowd because some are definitely better than others. Like, but
what's the best college? Come on, let them know. Party atmosphere. Who's the best country music?
Norman, Oklahoma is like high up there. Yeah. Norman, we've played 3 or 4 times. Norman's fun. Fort Worth, Texas, TCU is always a good time. We're going back there in a couple, or I guess by the time this comes out, we've already been there, but we're going there in like a week or 2. I said I'd give it to either Oklahoma or Texas. Any of those schools. Ole Miss is always fun too. Ole Miss can be a good time. But it's just like, yeah, dude, they are they're either really rowdy and ratchet, or it's just like, man, we drove 4 hours for this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's part of it, right?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
There's just nothing better than like loading up in the van with the boys and just being like, what's gonna happen?
do you have any crazy stories? Any that stick out? Pulling up to these campuses, and you're like, holy shit, what did we just walk into?
Morgantown, West Virginia. I just did. Morgantown is also. I'd put Morgantown over Ole Miss. Morgantown, West Virginia was like one of the first ones we had ever done, and we started doing these shows in spring of 2023. I think that sounds right. Yeah, it was spring of 23. We started doing these shows, and it was me and Joe Bryson. We were on the first run of them, and the first show we ever played was in Knoxville, and it was just awful. It was like just no one was there. They had to start at like 5 o'clock at night. Like it was just everything was like stacked against us. And I was like,
people are still working.
Well, it was finals week, so it's like it's 5 o'clock. God. People are still in finals, and I'm like playing acoustic, and like there's like 30 people there. It's all frat dudes, and I'm just like, man. I'm like, this is rough. And like, this was our first, like, we had like a couple weeks of like these shows, and I'm just thinking, I hope not every show is like this. And so we start driving to West Virginia the next day, and like vibes were low in the Chevy Explorer. And we were all just like, man, we really hope we're not driving 7 hours just for another show. The second we get into Morgantown, West Virginia, whippets are like covering the streets, and there's a frat smashing a car with a sledgehammer, and I'm just like, we're in the right place. Like we're home. We were in the van, and the house we were playing was on like this steep hill, and like we're chugging up, like barely making it. And we get to the house. One of the dudes is like, this is West Virginia, Morgantown. Yeah. And like, this was the second show we ever did of these. And we get to the house, and like, there's a bunch of people standing on the front yard. And like, one of the brothers comes up to us. And he's like, hey, like, give us like 15 minutes. Like, we got an issue going on in the house. And I'm like, okay. It's like noon. And I'm like, all right. And so all of a sudden an ambulance comes, and I guess like one of the kids like hit something that like had something in it. I don't know, but they punched him with Narcan in the middle of the house. He came back to life, and he partied the rest of the day. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Dude, it was like one of the craziest like crowds and like shows. We went out after that night, and like we were like local celebrities, dude. Like everyone like knew who we were from the party, and I was just like, all right, if all the shows are like this, we could. And like the shows that are like, I haven't been back to Morgantown since that, and we're going back. We're going back next weekend, and shout out Morgantown, West Virginia for. They know it. There's nothing to do there other than drink, dude. It's a party town for sure.
That's badass. I think I'm going there with Nathan in June, possibly.
Dude, you guys are gonna have the. If you go to this bar called Squirrel. Yeah, Squirrel is a fun fucking place. We went there, and like we drank for free the whole night. Like there was a line down the block. Security let us skip the line. I was like, I can get used to this.
That's awesome. So when you pull up to these, like, are you playing? I mean, obviously you're playing your covers and stuff. Are the people requesting like stuff from you as well?
Dude, it really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I want to take a request for those shows, we normally have a set list. Yeah, and it's like it's usually about half originals, half covers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
If I hear somebody say a song that I really like, and like I know the band knows it, I'll be like, okay, we can do this. But like normally we don't take requests for that, because the requests are always like I remember we were in Kentucky, and some girl was like, can you play Whiskey by Morgan Wallen? I'm like, what? No. That's wild. I was like, no. What kind of question is that?
Whiskey.
Yeah, I was like, anyway, here's a Treaty.
That's funny. So do you, like, if you were to pick, you like playing on Broadway, your favorite cover, your favorite artist, who is it? Who
Broken Window Serenade, Whiskey Myers.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song to play, because we play it nothing like the record. We like heavy guitars, rock it up, and it's like, that's probably my favorite. That one, or Can't You See, Marshall Tucker Band is always fun. Ragweed's a fun one to play too. But Broken Window is probably my favorite song to cover. That's a good one.
Cool. So one like definitely one of my favorite artists in the last few years has been Co Wetzel, and hearing the new music you've been putting out, and also shout out Rob Langdon too. Both of y'all are two of my favorite like rock country artists right now.
Yeah, Rob's sweet.
That ass, dude. Like you guys are putting out some good music, and
thank you, man. I mean, it means a lot.
So obviously when this comes out, the song will already be out, but you got a new song coming out called Happy. Tell us a little bit about that.
This one's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, this one's coming out.
Oh,
this one's coming
out.
Yeah,
my bad. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking
Happy was
I was
the last
thinking of
one.
Hardy was stuck in my phone.
Yeah. No, okay is the next one coming out, and I'm excited for this one, dude. This is like I'm very proud of this one. I wrote it with Joe Bryson, Justin Corley, and Kevin Moon, and we wrote it back in I think like June and last year, and the second we wrote it, I knew I wanted to cut it. I had like the kind of riff kind of going in my head for a week or two, and I don't even remember. I think we just like started freestyling it, and I think it just came about, and I was like, I fell in love with it right off the rip, and Jake Partial crushed the production on it as always. He's done my last couple songs, and I've been working with Jake for years now, and I don't even need to tell him like what to do. He just knows what I like, and it works every time. And in my head, I mean, I like the music that I'm putting out, so I hope other people do. But it's I love this one, dude. It's caught some attention from some cool people that I've like kind of like looked up to for a while too, which is like that's a cool feeling. I'm like, all right, like this works, like paying off. Like I'm seeing results. I've lived here for a little over 3 years, and like this is the first year that I'm like, okay, like,
okay,
I can see it. Okay, I'm like, I can see stuff kind of moving in a new direction now. Where I'm like, okay, like I gotta keep this going while it's going. I guess.
No, and it's cool. It's probably got to feel good that like this stuff's like huge right now. Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, it definitely helps that like this is the sound that I feel like a lot of people. I feel like it's got its benefits and doubts because like while it's a sound that's popular and like people want to hear of it, a lot of it, I feel like it could get exhausted pretty easily. Because like I feel like I don't know. I feel like when like music trends like that catch on of like a certain sound of music,
for sure,
like it's easy to exhaust it quickly, and so it's like I feel like you gotta just like slip right in at the right time, but. I don't know. I'm gonna keep making music that I love and that I think people will like. And if you like it, sweet. If you don't, sweet. I don't know. Yeah.
So besides, do you have plans for more music this year?
Definitely. I put out a super heavy one at the beginning of the year called "Drown You Out" with my buddy Evan. And then this will be the next one. I'm trying to put a song out every other month. It gets expensive, but my goal is to put a song out every other month because I see people who put out like Nathan, for example, dude. Yep. He puts the song out every week. I feel like I don't understand. Every time I open TikTok,
dude, but it's hard.
Right now, I got old feelings bumping on my TikTok For You page every time I open it. Like he puts a song out every other week, and I'm like, man, I want to be like, I got to get like that, dude. Because gotta stay steady.
Listen, it's hard. Everyone's struggling, especially not having the backing. No one like, especially people outside of Nashville. They don't get how much money, how much stuff goes into it.
Oh my gosh.
It is hard, man. And it's like, you go home and it's like, oh, why don't you just put out this song? Like, this song's so good. You should just put it out.
Yeah, I love people are like, you should just put that song out.
A few grand later. By the time you do the marketing for it, you get the videos, you get the photos, you get the song produced, the whole thing. I mean,
every time I put a song out, I always forget how much work like goes into like putting a song out.
It's fun.
And then like every time too, I'm like, man, I don't remember being this much work the last time. Like I feel like it like every time, like I don't know, maybe it's just like the people you meet, you have more like opportunities or whatever, but it's like this release feels different than like HateUr.Happy. Like HateUr.Happy, I just kind of like put out and like did a couple things to it, but it's like all the stuff I'm doing with this one now, I'm like, whoa, I'm so much busier with this one now.
I think HateUr.Happy was on my Spotify Wrapped as like top 10 songs.
No way, really? Dude, that's awesome.
I jammed that song so much,
Thank
bro.
you.
That was a great. a great
dude.
release. Man.
I'm glad you liked it because I don't know if a lot of people
It's okay, man. Hey, it's so funny, especially like you see it with guys like Wetzel and stuff, and all their old stuff is so big now. And it's like, obviously, me and you were listening to it back in the day, but it like you were convincing people to listen to Wetzel,
right, dude?
Right?
Oh
you
my
go
God.
to a party and you turn on Wetzel. It's like, especially maybe up in Massachusetts and Michigan,
my entire senior year of high school, bro. I was like trying to put. I remember like when Zach Bryan first came out and like he had like the Deanne and Elizabeth album. I was like to my friends, I was like, you guys gotta like hear, and they're like, this is boring, dude. It's just him and a guy. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, now you're spending $1,000 to go see him live.
Yep.
Who won this one? Like, dude, I've been. It was the same thing with Co and like all those guys. Like even Cody Johnson to a degree. Like I remember when I first heard Cody Johnson.
He's a great.
It's like
performer.
a sophomore in high school, and like no one else kind of really where I was from knew who he was. But I was just like, man, like I've discovered Texas country. Like when I was in high school, and I was like, this is something else. And like I remember trying to put all my friends onto it, and they're like, man, weird. I'm like, you just watch. No,
I love it. Yeah, especially like same thing probably Massachusetts, Michigan, where Texas country, it's like people love Nashville country. That's easy, radio country. It's easy to put that in people's faces, but you bring guys in, like you said, like to your Texas country, and now people like it. But back in 3, 4, 5 years ago, it was like. It was so weird to people, like your Cody Jinks, like so many names.
100%. And like, that's why I always get annoyed whenever like someone tells me they don't like country music. Yeah. I'm like, do you? Because like a lot of my friends who used to like hate country music, now they like love Wetzel or they love Treaty Oak or they love, and I'm like, country music is such a broad term. Yeah. Country music, you have Dan and Shay, you have Morgan Wallen, you got Wetzel, you got like there's so many different subgenres to country music. You can't say you hate it. Like there's gonna be at least one subgenre that kind of catches your ear. Right. Like the people who listen to Wetzel are not listening to Dan and Shay.
And all you Nickelback fans, I just want to say, if they came up in today's day, they'd be considered country.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, dude.
And I mean, you could say that. Probably about a few.
You can say that about a lot of those bands from then, I feel like. Nickelback, though, yeah, dude, definitely.
Outside of country, who were a few of bands you grew up on?
Green Day is the biggest one, dude. I don't know what it was about Green Day, but like their whole catalog just always like hit my ear the right way. And I've seen them live a bunch. But like they had like a live DVD of them playing a show. I forget where the show is, but it's like the Bullet in the Bible, like package, and it's like the CDs of like this live concert and like the shit. I would always put that. My parents would always put that in the TV to shut me up, and like I'd just be like sitting in front of it, watching it, like jamming out. And I was like, this is what I wanted. Like this is what I want to do. But Green Day, Foo Fighters, dude. I've always been like a huge Dave Grohl fan. I've Nirvana. Nickelback, always gotta love Nickelback. I started like getting into like when I was in like middle school and high school, I started getting into rap and stuff and like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and kind of fell in love with that. But it's always, I feel like it's just always been, I've always gone back to like rock and country. Yeah. It's just always, I don't know what it had always been, but like I always just loved the sound of heavy drums and guitars. I love the storytelling of country music. And there's definitely like storytelling in rock too, but it was just like the storytelling of country music always drew me in, and the loudness of rock music always drew me in. And that's when I was like, man, what if you could do like the two? And then I found, like I said, like Co and all those guys, and I was like, oh, here we go. Like the new ball game.
Do you find that like as you like obviously grow up and expand your music liking and stuff, do you find it easier to write songs?
Yeah. I feel yes and no. I feel like songwriting is such like an interesting, like I feel like I could go a month like writing every single day, and then all of a sudden like 3 months have gone by and I haven't written anything. Like it all depends, I feel like, on just what's going on in my life. Because I could get in a room and just like sit down with a couple guys and write a song to write a song. Yeah. But excuse me, when I like the music that I'm like trying to do for myself, like I don't know, I want it to have at least something to do with what I've gone through, or like something that like one of my buddies like I want there to be I want it to have to do with something. And so it's like, if I haven't, I guess, done anything in a while, nothing like worth writing about, I feel like it's harder to write songs for myself than it is for other people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So so obviously you just said like maybe you're not going in every room writing a song for you necessarily, right? Like you have to go into rooms and maybe one day's a little bit poppy, one day's a little bit more country, you know. How has it been easier since you moved to town? And then up until now, like when it comes to writing and performing and just like the involvement of like your music career, like
living here.
Yeah, I mean living here, but like you just doing the music thing, like has it become a lot easier over the few years? Like
I don't know if it's become easier in some aspects, but like I feel like it gets harder the more you do it, because it's like, as you go, you accomplish stuff, and then you're like, all right, well, I don't want to just settle there. Like, I got to keep going and like keep writing the songs, keep playing the shows, and doing all that. It's definitely easier living here than when I lived in Massachusetts, because I mean, like, I can drive 10 minutes over to Midtown and go play around instead of having to hop on a flight for 2.5 hours and then get an Uber or do whatever. Like, it's definitely a lot easier to do it when you're living in the heart of it, and you're surrounded by people who are doing it 24/7, and it's just like, that's kind of all you consume. But at the same time, you can get burned out quick, and like all of a sudden, like I said, not write a song for 3 months, or
you go through those waves of kind of
I feel like it's like the beginning of the year is when I'm trying to write the most, and then like spring, summer, fall, I try to play shows pretty much, whether it's rounds or go on the road or downtown, like try to play as much as possible. And then like kind of that dead time in like winter and stuff is like when I try to write and record the most. But yeah, I don't know. It's I feel like it definitely just gets harder as you go.
Like you know more, but as you know more roadblocks, you
have more tools to like figure stuff out easier. But I feel like it never will get easier. Like you're always gonna want that next thing, and whatever it may be.
When you first moved to town, was it extremely hard to like get up and perform and do that whole thing? When you first started Broadway, even maybe
not necessarily, because like I had been playing like for the last couple of years up in Massachusetts, and so it's like Broadway is definitely like a whole different ball game. Like you definitely it's definitely not like your hometown bar. Like playing for the like same regular people every week or whatever. Yeah. You definitely kind of got to learn the ropes a little bit more on it. You definitely got to run a show down there different than you would if you're on the road or like in your hometown. But I had like traveled every month here. Like I took like a week out of each month and like traveled back and forth here before I moved. So that way I could meet people, and like, cause I didn't want to move to town blind, not knowing anybody, not knowing my way around. And so it was like, I traveled, met some people, wrote, played some rounds, kind of learned my way around the city a little bit before I like jumped into it. And then I got thrown onto Broadway relatively quickly, and kind of just like again, played Broadway a shit ton. I when I first moved to town, I was playing like 6 days a week, just like trying to make money and like trying to just like learn the ins and outs. And so it's like, if I could go back, like I look at the shows that I was playing on Broadway like 3 years ago versus like what I'm doing now. It's just like, I know how to run a show down there so much better now than when I just got thrown into the fire. Cause it's like, there's some drunk people down there.
I bet you
got to deal with some.
I bet you see some crazy stuff down there.
You got to deal with some interesting shit for sure. But like it's now it's just like, I just get up there and jam, have a good time. If people want to hang out and watch us play, like
you have to deal with a lot of unruly people down there.
Yeah, I mean you
have to call bouncers over and be like, hey.
Not as much as some people have to. Yeah. I've definitely had my fair share of calling and getting people kicked out, but luckily I haven't had to deal with that. We play Monday. We play during the week mainly because I like to keep my weekends sort of open in case like I get a road gig. I'll take a road gig over anything else. So it's like I'll play like during the week, and people kind of know how to behave themselves on a Monday night for the most part. I've definitely had to kick some people out though.
Yeah. What's your favorite bar to play downtown?
Probably Friends.
Yeah.
Friends or
I love that
10.
bar. That bar's badass.
We just started playing a Category 10 too. Category 10's awesome, but Friends has been very good to me over the last like year and a half.
No, yeah, I heard they treat artists real well down
They
on Broadway.
do. They're a lot of the new bars that are opening up. They're very artist friendly and like.
And they have a green room, right?
Yeah, Friends is a green room, which is sweet, dude. If you have to if you have to deal with some drunk dickhead, be like. Guitar player say.
I saw someone post a video of like them sneaking into the Friends green room and like snagging a beer. Like it was an artist off duty. And I want to know. I want to know if he got in trouble for that.
Probably not.
But he posted it and he was like me sneaking into Friends green room after.
Who was it?
I totally forget. But it was like, yeah, he brought his buddy in there. They went in there to grab the beer out of the fridge, and
I feel like I might know who it is. I'm not gonna say names. But that's funny. No, that green room's sweet. It's a nice little add on for sure. Dude.
Have you played Wallen's?
I played there once. I played on their dining floor once with Addison Simmons, but I've never really played there.
Okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Why does Wallen's area smell like shit, bro?
Oh, that like
dude,
just street by Whiskey Row,
bro.
Dude, I don't know, but a lot of the times I feel like I'm gonna throw up when I'm over there. I like walking back to my truck after gigs. I'm just like, oh, it always smells bad.
Do you know what blows my mind is like the amount they charge for parking, the amount they charge for drinks, right? All this stuff, and they can't keep just at least that Broadway section clean and smelling good.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget one of the first times I came here. It was like a Sunday morning. Me and my dad were walking around downtown, and like I saw like the street workers like spraying like puke off the sidewalks, and I'm like, where the fuck are we? I was like, is this why it smells terrible? Like, dude,
Bourbon Street,
dude. Yeah, it just smelled there and like kind of behind Old Red. Like, just I don't know, any of those alleys just fucking smell, and I don't know why, dude. I would say it's the wonderful smells of Broadway, dude. I can smell it now just fucking thinking about
the
it.
The garbage, the puke, the alcohol mixture. Yeah, that shit ain't fun.
Yeah, like I said, I can smell it now.
So tell me your craziest story on Broadway.
On Broadway, ooh, that I've just seen in general, or like while
just
playing.
Like, I bet you've seen people get arrested. I mean, you're down there more than the average person.
Dude, I've seen, I try not to go down there unless I'm making money. Yeah. And it's just like, but I mean, dude, you get caught up in some interesting. There was one night I saw like 3 fights in one night, just like bar hopping around. And I was like, damn. One of my favorite fights I've seen though was like the first month that I had like moved to town, the Titans and Bengals were playing in the AFC Championship over at Nissan. And so a bunch of Bengals fans were in town and the Titans got their ass whooped. And I was at Rippy's and a like fight between like 8 Bengals fans and 8 Titans fans like broke out of the back. And it went from like the back of the bar all the way to the front, like out the door. Like they were scrapping for about like 10, 15 minutes. They finally get it like broken up, get everybody out on the sidewalk. Like Tootsie's security had to like run over to like help control it. And they get everybody on the sidewalk and it just starts going right again on the sidewalk. And there was a lot of punches in that one. That was a brawl. And then that night I saw another fight at Kid Rock's. And another one at Honky Tonk Central. It was just like, man, can't escape them. My favorite Broadway though memory that I've had is last summer we were playing 10 to Close at Garth's, and Chad Smith rolled up from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, drummer for Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he played our last song with us. We did Simple Man with him, and that was probably like the coolest thing that had happened to me because I'd always like heard of like people having like celebrities roll in on gigs, and I was like, man, that's never happened to me. I'm like, I've never been that lucky or like whatever. And like it was like 2:15 in the morning, and we like finished our last song. And do you know Fabiano? He works. So I didn't know who Fabiano was.
Nashville
at the time.
VIP, baby.
And he's such an awesome guy. He's so nice, but I didn't know who he was at the time. And so like he comes up to me. And he's like, you guys play one more song? I'm like, nah, dude. Like, sorry, we're done for the night. He's like, I got Chad Smith with me from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like, bullshit. And he's like, no, I swear. And then like I look behind him and he's just standing there right behind him. He's like, what's up, dude? I'm like, I like look at the sound guys in the back. I'm like, kick it back on. I'm like, we got one more song to play. And he like hops up on stage. He's like, what do you guys want to play? I'm like, what do you want to play?
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys know any Skinner? And I was like, let's do Simple Man, because I knew it was like a 6-minute song. I'm like, I want to enjoy every moment of this. And dude, he got up and just ripped it with us, and it was it was like a fever dream, dude. I had no idea what was going on, and like for like the next week, I was getting posted on like a bunch of like Red Hot Chili Peppers fan accounts.
Yeah,
and that was a really cool. That was a really cool memory for me and my band, because a lot of my guys in my band are huge Red Hot Chili Pepper fans, and I always grew up listening to them too, and so it was just like, that was like a holy shit moment that I still can't even fathom, but that's
so badass. It's so funny too. It's like now that Nashville's like the shit now. You have all these guys like Snoop Dogg, and
dude,
you have
Snoop's opening a bar.
Yeah, like all these guys outside of country are coming to Nashville, and they've been here, right? They've always recorded songs, but they never post about it like like country people have, or country artists have and stuff in the past. But now everyone wants to be a Nashvilleian, I feel like.
Dude, over the last year, I've met like a lot of just like producers and writers from LA, and it's always interesting every time I meet them, because like, I guess it just from what I've never been to LA. I don't know shit about it, but from what I just hear from other people, it just sounds like it's so much friendlier here. And so I'm like, I guess like, I don't blame you for trying to like escape that scene. Like, it sounds like it's so cutthroat, and just like people are just so for themselves there. And like, I guess like writer splits are like, it comes down to like how much you actually contributed to the song. Like, dude, I will not lie. Like, every artist in this town, if they don't say this, I feel like they're lying. Like, I have been in a lot of writes where we got a good song or whatever, and I didn't say shit. I've maybe said like 2-3 words or threw a line out, and it's like I still get like the same percentage, but like there it would be like, no, you get 4% of this song. And it's like, it's so interesting like hearing the guys come over here, and I'm like, shit.
Well, also the difference too, and I mean, kind of saw it with Post for the first time, but in LA you have 8-10 writers on the song, right? In country music you have 4, like on average, 3 to 4.
I feel like I have been seeing though like a lot more writers on songs, at least like bigger ones. Like, I don't know, I'm definitely the kind of person where I feel like too many cooks in the kitchen can fuck it up. Like, I will cap off at 4, and like I either like to write in 3 or 4. One or 2. I write by myself too here and there, but 4 is like the most I'll go. I can't have 10 people on a song.
Well, what's very popular right now is when like these guys, like these newer artists, are taking bits and pieces of old songs, right, making it theirs, and then now they have 8 artists on a song, or 8 writers on a song because of that.
I know. I feel like I would just get too confused. That's too many ideas. Too many. I don't know. But LA and Nashville. It's definitely an interesting. It's so interesting just how different. Like it all is. I don't know. It just seems so much friendlier. People are nice here, I feel like.
No, absolutely. Do you like living in Nashville?
I do. It's the only complaint I have is literally just traffic. And I feel like that's like anybody else's, because it's
the damn tornadoes.
A city of transit.
We're getting attacked by tornadoes right now.
I know. Are we still under what? We're still. Oh no, we're not under watch anymore. I feel like my only complaint would be the traffic, and it's because it's a city of transplants. There's people from all over. It's everybody's bad driving combined onto one road system. And it's just not good for anybody. But like, I love it, dude. I've been here for a little over 3 years, and it has its ups and downs. It has its bumps in the road. But I mean, like, overall, dude, I've made some of the best friends I could ever imagine. I get to wake up and do what I love every single day, and I feel like I wouldn't be as happy if I was still living in Massachusetts and like traveling down here to like do everything. Like, when you're living in it and like you're in the scene every day, and like I wake up every day and I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, I have maybe like a write and like a show or whatever, but it's like overall, dude, like you could end up in any situation at any time, and it's just like, I don't know, it's cool. I'm very ADHD, so it's like I'm always trying to do as much as I possibly can and like run around and do stuff. And it's just living here I feel like it's the most ADHD city in the world. When I was getting in here, I saw a party bus roll by. I'm like, damn. I'm like, it's a Wednesday night or Thursday night, whatever day it is.
I was just having this conversation with Nathan and Connor the other day, and I was like, especially living in this town, you see it more than ever. But on your shittiest days, the most unexpected stuff happens.
Yeah.
Where it's like, damn, this is why I live here. This is cool, you know?
Yeah. And it's such a like piece of advice I feel like that has been like beaten into everybody's heads, but it's like it's the truth, dude. Those days where you don't want to do anything and like you don't want to get it, like go play that round. Yeah. Go fucking meet up with whoever at the bar and like shake some hands. Like you never, like last night, dude, I played around at Live Oak at 10 o'clock at night. We wrapped up at 11. And I was like about to drive home. I was like, something was telling me to just like go to Midtown and just like get a drink. And I went to Midtown, ended up meeting a couple people and like had a good time, had a good night. And it was just like, man, if I just went home, I would have sat there and watched TV and done nothing for a couple hours and then got woken up by a tornado. Yeah. But it was just like, I went out and I hung out and met some people and who knows what's going to come. Nothing might ever come from it, but it's like, I met them. I shook their hand and I don't know, those days where it's just like, you don't want to do anything, go do it. Just go do it.
Nashville's definitely a magical place, but especially Midtown, man. I mean, sometimes just people you run into down there, the conversations you have, you know, it's.
I feel like people shit on it in a way, and it's just like at the end of the day, dude, it is fun. Like I've never necessarily not gone out here and like not had a good time. Like I've always had like a good time every time I go out, and I like to say that I don't like to go out, but I do like to go out. It's fun, dude. Like I don't know. I don't know. You got to do the thing. If you're gonna live here, why not take the advantage and like it's so easy. It's a 10-minute drive to Red Door or whatever from pretty much wherever anybody lives. Like go meet the people.
That's exactly kind of why I started this podcast. I woke up, a light bulb flicked on in my head after how many years of living here, and I was like, why am I not running a podcast or doing something along those lines? Because how many people that live outside of Nashville, right, have a podcast and would die to live here and run one, you know?
Dude, I was happy when I saw you were starting the podcast. I feel like this is like the perfect thing for you. Like all seriousness, like this is right up your alley. Like I was shocked you didn't have this sooner, honestly.
No, dude, I appreciate it, and honestly, it's been great. I've been getting some great feedback. I have had some great guests and some great guests lined up, and that's awesome. I appreciate you saying yes and coming on, dude.
Of course, dude.
So you're playing a lot of shows this year. You're going out on the road with a few people. Who are those guys?
It's pretty much me and the crew that I got now. It's Justin Corley, Kevin Moon, and Joe Bryson. We've been trying to I'll go play shows with anybody, but those are the guys we got shows kind of lined up with now.
How'd you get hooked up with those guys?
Dude, oh my God, how did I meet everybody? I met Joe a couple months into living into town. We had a mutual friend, Taylor Biley. He's a songwriter and producer here in town. And I was writing with Taylor at the time, and he was like, do you know Joe Bryson? Yes. I was like, no, I don't. He's like, he's this kid, he lives in Murfreesboro. He's like, you guys kind of have similar vibes. And he was producing a couple songs for Joe at the time. And so like we were writing, and he just showed me a couple of the mixes, and I was like, damn, this shit's kind of tough. And I shot Joe a DM on Instagram, and I was like, let's write. And then we met up and we wrote a couple times, and every time we wrote the saddest song I've like ever heard. And like we did that like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, yeah, dude, this is gonna work. And then he ended up moving in with me for like a year and a half. But I met Joe through Taylor, and then I met Kevin through Chris Chapman. Kevin like pulled up to a random Broadway gig I was playing at, and then I ran into him in Atlanta, just like I was in Atlanta for a show, and I saw him and his wife, and I knew who he was because I knew I had met him like a year or 2 prior, but like I didn't know who he was necessarily. I never like talked to him, and dude, we just hung out like one night and became boys on the spot. And then Justin, dude, I love Justin Corley, dude. He's a great guy. I hated him when I first met him. I could not stand Justin. Not could not stand, but I was playing with this girl downtown, and all of a sudden I like stopped kind of getting called for gigs necessarily. And I was like, huh. And then I saw that he was playing with her, and I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah. And then like I had one conversation with him, and I'm like, you are the sweetest human being I've ever met. Yeah. And like same thing, me and him just started writing and became good buddies. And it's cool because they're all from like different parts. Justin's from South Carolina, Kevin's from Georgia, Joe's from Louisiana. And so it's like now we all go to each other's hometowns.
And you guys kind of all have a different sound, but yet it blends in a way.
Yeah, you know? We're all different in our own right, but it all works. Yeah. And like it's been cool. Like me and Justin, we'll go to like Greenville or wherever, like where he's from in South Carolina. We'll play shows from time to time. I went back with to Georgia with Kevin this past weekend, and we did some shows out there in Georgia and South Carolina. And then me and Joe, the other thing too, actually with Joe is we had met and like we'd been writing a couple times, and like I remember one of our writes, I was like, yeah, I'm doing these frat shows. Like, I don't know how. He's like, wait, who's it with? And I'm like, I don't know, like we got talking about it and we realized we were all like on the same shows. And so it was like, oh, let's just like carpool and like hang out. And like, dude, just like hanging out and like going on the road with him for the first couple of times. It was just like, we had so much fun. And I was like, dude, let's just keep doing this. And so that's what we're doing. Morgantown, Fort Worth, Texas, and Stillwater, Oklahoma coming up over the next couple of weeks. And I'm just like, Joe's so fucking fun. And we're doing a show. I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll already be over, but we're doing a show. We're co-headlining at the Vinyl Lounge on Tuesday night, which we've never done a ticketed in-town show before.
That's sweet.
So I'm nervous, but I think it'll be fun, dude. I'm like, we're both putting out songs on the 11th. And so, it's cool. We're doing it kind of like a release party, and just to see if we can like move some tickets in town. Why not? I mean, it's cool. It's cool getting to do it all.
Doing
with, like,
the damn thing, man.
Yeah, dude. It's cool getting to do it with like friends and like Nathan too. Yes. Like I've known Nathan for forever. Like I moved in January and he moved in February, and like we just started hanging out, writing a bunch. He moved in with me, and it was just like it's just the same thing. It's just cool seeing everybody too, because it's like once you've been here for a couple of years, it's like. I sat back and I like realized that the other day, I'm like, man, I've seen like a lot. I've seen these people around me do so much stuff. And like when you think about it, the little amount of time that because we all kind of moved here around the same time. Yeah. The little amount of time that we've all been here, how much everybody's done. It's so cool, dude. It's so cool to watch. Cause like I'm a fan of everybody around me.
Dude, insane. Like, and that's like, I'm very selective. I'm handpicking my guests because there's artists in this town that I see that, you know, there's a little group that we got, and it's like, this is the talent that people need to see.
Dude,
you know,
it's cool, bro.
I'm like, love the music industry, but hate it at the same time. I'm tired of the money going into people that sound the same or generic or just, you know, cheesier than a Cheeto, as I would say. That's my new saying. I've seen a few people come out recently in this industry. I'm like, man, you are cheesier than a Cheeto.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I mean, I agree. It's just like, it's cool. Like I said, it's just cool watching everybody like do a thing, because I mean, as much in the business I am, like I am a music fan at the end of the day. Sure, I make music, but ultimately,
but you gotta be.
Dude,
I mean,
I'm a fan. Like, there's like, if I think you're good, I'm gonna like tell you to your face. I'm gonna be like, dude, you're killing it right now. Like you're like, I like to give people props when like I think they've been doing a good job. Like there's so many people like that where I'm like, dude, Chandler Brown. Do you know Chandler?
No, I don't.
Dude,
honestly,
I look up Chandler. He's putting out his first song tonight, and like this dude is such a talented human.
How'd you hear of him?
Just mutual friends, and like he's been here for a long time, killing it, and like, but like he's never put out any music. Cool. And dude's got a hell of a catalog, and like I've luckily kind of had a couple conversations with him, and like I told him the other day, I'm like, dude, you're crushing right now. And he's like, dude, he's like, you don't need to glaze me. I'm like, dude, don't say it like that. I'm like, you're good. I'm giving you props. Like again, like I'm a fan of people, dude. Like I don't know, if you make some fucking catchy music, like I'm gonna tell you make catchy music, and I'm gonna kind of fanboy a little bit, because like at the end of the day, everybody's got to support everybody.
No,
like,
100%.
You can't get by in this town. Whoever tells you can get by doing everything yourself Sure, you might be able to, but it's gonna be a lot harder.
It takes a team.
Make some friends, dude.
Yeah.
Like, go play shows with your friends. Go play the shitty shows and like places that you've never been. Like, you're gonna see stuff. Like, I just like to see shit. That's why I like to travel, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go play anywhere. I don't, as long as I can break even, like, on making money, dude. As long as I'm not losing hundreds of dollars going to play on the road, I will go take any road opportunity I can.
Yeah, dude. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. So, Liam, I appreciate you coming on the pod. We're gonna have to call this one here, but you got some new music coming out. Obviously, okay will be out already, but you'll have new music coming out as well. Yeah. Go check Liam out on Spotify, Apple, you name it, YouTube. Yeah. Go check out the content. The content's not easy to make, so people appreciate the likes and the reposts. Thanks, my man. Cheers.
Dude, cheers, brother. Thank you for having me on.